I'm admitted.
But now I'm wondering, is this going to make me, this is all set up for you to bypass the lobby. Any guests that come into this meeting
Should not.
automatically bypass the lobby. That's why I'm not understanding what's going on.
So that's why I really believe, because we're gonna do the same thing down at the chambers. We need to have an IT person, which I'm happy, I live in town. So if you have an IT person coming here to help me, to help you with this, updating this Teams, I can bring my laptop and the IT person will sit here and we'll sort it through. And you only have to pay the IT person an hour's worth of his or her time, which I can get you the name of the person who's coming to see us. It's Lori and Gary down at the chambers. He's coming, he's gonna charge us an hour of his time to update. We're on Zoom. It's a different program, but we have similar issues with the city Wi-Fi.
You do?
Yeah. But so for now, for example,
Good plan.
You feel like crap for a month. Seriously?
Christie, that's the.
That was a whole.
Our building's here.
Kid,
But it's not.
has a complication of measles, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, thanks to, who's this Kennedy, there really is no measles concern anymore.
No, thank goodness.
That's over. Whoop, That's over. Ebola, not a problem. These things that we worried about for so many years and that kill millions of people are just not a problem.
Well, the thing that's not a problem is killing millions of people. Right? That's what we got worried about. Because if we were, still.
We were so naive.
I know.
Sometimes you got to, as Kennedy said, sometimes you have to make some sacrifices to get better information. Where do you find people who are so actually disturbed and promote them to extraordinary positions of power?
That's what Hillary's op-ed is about today.
Mental illness?
Well, no, remember years ago when she would taint herself with the deplorables,
Yes.
the deplorable speech?
Yes.
So this phrase is dumb, dumb power. She said she had a whole thing years ago about smart power, and when she was secretary, and
And she held back on that one with deplorables.
yes, and now she's coming out with what she's labeling as dumb power. Just dumb.
It's unfortunate because people aren't dumb, they're ignorant. They've never had a chance to learn. People are all smart.
Well, I'm not sure about that, Miranda, but that's very sweet of you to say.
Just so you know, you're on speaker.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And we're proud of what we're saying.
We're proud of what we're saying.
Fortunately,
Hi, Craig, good morning.
fortunately.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy.
Hello.
Yeah, we are good. We have an in-person court of law.
And we made it. 5 out of 7 makes it something. It's getting very, very close to 10 o'clock.
15 seconds, we're 10:01.
What are you feeling to keep 10 on?
Let's roll Phil.
Apple was telling me.
Here we go.
Let's do a quick roll call, make sure we get everybody lined up. Why don't you go ahead on your side, Hugh?
Hugh Biber.
Paul Barrett,
Miranda Barry.
Phil Foreman,
Sean Schivel,
sounds like 5.
Commissioner Steins is on Zoom too.
I just want the inside forum, but yeah. Hi, Jeremy. So we got 5 in the
Hi,
house.
everyone.
And Craig Haig, Code Enforcement Officer, is online.
Terrific. Jan, shall we review minutes from the last meeting?
Actually, we're opening.
Oh, the public hearing, I'm sorry. So the public hearing is called to order. We are hearing for the folks from 537 Warren Street.
Correct.
And you're on whatever we can do to help you through the presentation, but it's your show. We're not going to interrupt you. Just go for it.
All right, Kevin Conklin with Conklin Architecture. We are before you this morning regarding 537 Ward Street. We have submitted updated information from our sort of first meeting with you regarding updated renderings, more specific information related to the some of the added trim over the doors. So this first slide we're looking at here is we updated the exterior rendering of the building. So you'll notice we are proposing the black windows, black trim, black cornice detail, fascia boards. We took care to avoid confusion, and the park depicted in this image is the park that's there today. We are not proposing to change anything in the park. Obviously, it's not our park. But the goal here is to clean up, repoint, repair the exterior of the building as needed. We're proposing to pull the existing metal tin with a mural on it off to re-expose the original brick that was on this building previous to the, I'm not sure when that brick was, or the tin was added, but I found an article, I think it was painted, was it in the 90s? Was it, well, I think so, right? But the proposal here is to remove all that so that we can, we're adding windows to the park side, we're adding this large glazed opening on the first floor as well, and a few windows as you go back down through the park. Can we go to the next?
Mhm.
We tried to find some historic sort of images of the building. All we were able to find is this era from the 50s or 60s when it was Richmond's. We hope we're going to find pictures of pre-60s when the fire, before the building that was there, when the fire happened in the 50s, I think. In our research at the library and anywhere else we looked, we were only able to find this era though, and that the image number one, which was, there was the whalebone that was out front of this building. But yeah, of course, our building is not actually here, our building is right here, but that's, so it's not real historic precedence of what's there today versus what was there. What's interesting though is that the facade that's there today is not at all what was here in the 50s. So this building has changed a few times in the front of the building. Sure. Some existing photos of the building, what everyone knows today as what was Mexican Radio with the flashy colors, lots of bills and graffiti on the building. The mural on the park side, again, we're proposing to remove that, to re-expose that brick. As a part of this project, I mentioned this at the last time we were here, we do need to repair the foundation of our building along the park, which will mean we will have some excavation work that will happen. We need waterproofing. The foundation has some structural issues, so we need to work with the city to get the appropriate permits to excavate along the building from the city. And then, of course, we're going to put it back with like materials. That's the plan.
Mhm.
Next, more images of the, I guess the first image over here, we see it's in the back of the building. It's sort of a mess right now, but our proposal is to clean that up, get the graffiti off the building. We're still going to have the doorway, the Bilko door that's in these images, the park, the brick portion of 537 Ward ends about, you see there's sort of a lighter color, red tin, if you will, where the colors sort of change. That's, the brick is on the front portion where your cursor is now. This, from here back, there's some brick in the wall, and then it turns to wood brick as we get towards the alley on the back. Next. This slide was added to sort of help explain our research to come to the conclusions of where materials are. So area A on the back left, which is along the alley, is this right here. We're able to pull back some of the metal. There's wood clapboard siding back there. Area B is here. There's wooden slats where this is the part of the building where when the fire happened, there's some interesting things. There's some structural work that needs to happen to that wall where parts, we've got lath that used to have plaster on it behind the tin, which would imply that at one point that was the inside of somebody else's, this was a shared wall. But so we need to rebuild. There's some restructuring of this center portion of the building that we need to sort of get straightened out. And then areas C and D, this is up front where the original building is, where we're going to find brick hidden behind the tin. And the goal here, again, is to pull back, remove all that tin, to allow us to put that large glazed opening and the windows across the upper portion of the building that we want. So. Closer images. This is on the back portion of the building, back close to the alley. There's wood horizontal siding. There's fiberglass insulation. There's sort of, this is down low. There's some brick mixed into that, but it's largely a wood frame building back there. Next. This is in the mid part of the building here. So we've got that lath again. There's some brick where brick walls used to be a sort of a party wall between the two structures, I believe. Next. And then as we're closer to the front of the building here, where this is the original corner, I believe that's the original corner of 537, the rear corner along the, so we're gonna have to do some repair to, there's gonna be more areas like this where there's brick failure or brick missing. We're gonna have to do some repair work and repointing and cleaning up the brick to try to get it back to just sort of a raw natural brick. Some images of the existing mural on the wall. I don't know that there's a historic significance to the mural. Well, I'm sure there's opinions as to what we should do or not do with that. I think that's a conversation. Our goal would be to remove that. If there's a person or a place that would like to have this, great. I don't think anyone's looking to take it off and sort of dispose of it into a dumpster. If there's opportunities for somebody or some group that would like to have it. Next. Existing portions, existing drawings of the building. So the red is existing openings with windows that are going to come out and be replaced with new. So Warren Street elevation, the current entry door is here. Window, it's not really a door, but it looks a lot like a door. And then some windows up top. These openings will remain. We're proposing to replace those with new windows and or doors into the existing openings and not make new openings on this Warren Street elevation. To note, at our last meeting, there was conversations of, we had proposed that these windows in the center were going to come all the way down to the sidewalk. After we've looked at this, we have decided to keep those up at the current height where they are, so they're going to be about a foot or so above the sidewalk as they are today.
So all the openings are remaining the same?
All the openings are remaining as they are, yes, just with new windows, doors. The park side of the building, taking the tin off. There's one existing window in the wall that will be coming out, and we're going to be putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new windows in this large glazed opening which will be a mixture of doors and windows. We've got 1, 2, 3 windows back in this portion of the building, and then all the way in the back, we're proposing a new door opening. And then as you come around the back of the building, you're in the alley, there's a door here which will be replaced. There are some windows up top, which again will be replaced in the same opening. So the only openings that are being added to the building that are not there today all occur on the park side of the building. And, you know, I'm not sure of the historic significance of the park side of the building, as I believe there was a building here at one point, so, but that's for you to tell us, I guess. So, next. Proposed elevations. Again, we are going to clean this cornice up, paint it, new windows, new door, new entry door shipping into the uphill side. This will be the new entry door, the window, a fixed door that will just be sealed. And a new lower millwork detail across the top of the door, which we provided a drawing. We'll get there in a second. The park side of the building, again, we're going to clean up that brick. We're going to add these windows. We're going to add this new glazed opening, doors and windows. The same trim work detail across the top of these that we're going to be seeing on the front of the building. The brick ends at the original rear wall of the building, and then our goal was to sort of break up this elevation of the building to make it look more as though it's 3 different buildings, even though it's one. So it's going to be brick, and then we're going to go to more of a horizontal side section in the center with 3 windows, and then we're going to allow the sort of sloping roof to remain on the back and keep that as a horizontal siding back there, but it sort of chops it up into 3 different components. The rear wall from the alley. So again, we're going to leave the cinder block back there. We are going to, you know, make any repairs to the fascia as a part of redoing the roof on this building, and new windows and replacing the door to the roof that currently exists. Next. Close-up renderings. Renderings are tricky. Anyone who's done renderings would tell you they're tricky, especially trying to do shadows and working with the lighting, trying to make it look right. I think these renderings are a little bit, I'm going to critique them a little bit. It's the shadows. It makes it look a lot blacker than it really is. Just on our way up Warren Street coming here today, you know, we were just kind of noticing all of the brick buildings that are brick with black windows. And this sort of looks a lot more like, whoa, than what exists and what it will look like. But black windows, and paint the sort of trim around those black. That's our proposed idea right now. This new wooden element being black and black fixed door, black window, black active door. That's, I think we led with this slide, but this is just a before and after. So, you know, what we see today, the tin, the colorful front facade, and what we're proposing to do to it. Just sort of really clean this whole thing up and, you know, bring it back to life and make it a exciting part of Warren Street. Another rendering from back in the park. Comes off the side of the building. This is that rear section of the building where there's a door back. This section has a door back here further. That's how the image is hard to get in the right angle so that this was useful to look at. This is the midsection where we've got 3 fixed windows and sort of a new parapet wall and make it look like its own building. And of course the large glazed wall and a couple windows on top with the brick.
Are you doing any masonry repair on the brick?
We're going to have to, I'm assuming we're going to have to do some masonry repair once that tin comes off. I mean, I don't know what it looked like before the tin went on, but from good weather, the fact that there was a fire here, I don't know what condition things will be in behind there, but I'm expecting there's going to be some repair and repointing happening to the brick.
We usually ask for some kind of statement or formula of, you know, we want to make sure the mortar is appropriate.
So how does the committee how do we handle that today?
You should, we'll put a statement in the C of A or whatever document with your, agreement that you will make, every effort to test and match the mortar, to the existing structure, so we don't end up with something that's a
Lot cheaper.
crazy contrast.
Yeah, I think there's some standards for, because I don't know, imagine the existing mortar may not, who knows what the repairs have been. There are standards for historically appropriate mortar, and we know what those are, and those are, you can find those. I don't.
I think last time Tim.
Yes.
Yeah, we can get that for you, but you get the idea. It's, you're not looking to, have this thing stand out, it's basically.
Is this something that's, because this is my first time dealing with you, is this something that's ever, let's say the tin comes off the building and we're all like, what's that? This is, a hodgepodge of patches or whatever it may be. Is this ever revisited once the tin is off, and does this come back?
It depends on how profound the situation is. You stated very clearly that you're gonna do a repair, restore, cleanup. That's not an uncommon, set of directions. I think you gotta feel your way. If it looks like it's a lot, you can ask us to go over and take a look, and see if there are any changes. I'll ask Kim to get you, I mean, the rookie errors in town going back forever are, basically start with people using concrete instead of mortar. Not only is it the wrong color, it crushes the brick over time. There's a lot of that.
Okay.
But if you actually have someone who knows what they're doing and they're using real mortar and they're looking at it, it's probably gonna work out fine, and I can get you a formula for the mix.
Okay.
And often if there's siding coming off, we ask that once you take it off, if there are historic elements that are of interest that you didn't
That
know
were left
about.
behind or buried
that were
on
under,
the side.
that we'd like to.
I doubt that they're gonna be, sometimes there are details and other pieces that are worthy of preserving sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
But your story is very clear on this, I think.
Yeah, thanks. Another piece of information that was requested last time was more information on the window types and door types, so we added those to this. The Warren Street facade, we are going to have, we've got these labeled as window type A, so we're proposing window type A over here, which is a 404 double hung window. Below this, we have storefront here, so this is going to be, we've got indicated as a catering window right now. I don't know that they will actually be active or not. My assumption is they won't be active. It'll be a fixed window at the store at Warren Street here, as well as the door that's not going to be active. I believe these will all become fixed, as well as the transoms over the top of those, with our active door on the corner of the park and Warren Street here. So this will be the active door with transom. Coming down the side of the park, this is sort of an enlarged version of what we're proposing. So currently it's a side light, active double door, double side lights, active double door, double side lights, and active double door, and a side light with transoms above each of those door openings. Moving down the park further, we've got 3 fixed windows identified as type G. And I think that we've actually got these labeled wrong here. This is type D, but this is the window that's going in here. They're 4'10" by 4'10", so to give you some scale. And then all the way to the back here, we've got this door, which currently is being proposed as a Dutch door. There's this idea of perhaps having some to-go services out of the back there to try to draw people down the park, to try to bring some new life of people into that park, because currently it's sort of cold and dark and lifeless, it seems like at times. So all the way to the back of the building again, replacing these 1, 2, 3, 4 upper windows that are in the mezzanine with a casement window, with a 6 light pattern in it. And then the door, I'm sorry, this will be a solid door up top. This is really just an access door to the roof or any rooftop equipment that's going to exist up there in the kitchen equipment. And then there's a door precursors right now, which is being proposed as a 3/4 light door with a wood panel at the bottom. Next. Okay, this is the detail of sort of what we are proposing to do over the front doors on Warren Street. It's a built-up trim detail with a metal cap on it. And this same detail will be used over that large glazed opening along the park. And then this window trim that we're going to be adding to the windows on the new windows on the park side of the building. And this is the existing sort of detail that's there now along Warren Street.
And it's currently painted.
They are currently painted, the front is currently painted and the sides don't exist right now. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay, so, good. Let's hear your thoughts, questions.
Well done. Jan, do you have anybody online? Is it all us?
I have quite a number of people online.
Thanks.
Let's see.
Okay, well, we'll go with commission comments.
I don't have any raised
No,
hands.
I'm sorry, it's a public hearing. We don't need
Yeah,
commission
I
comments.
don't have any raised hands. at
Any,
this
any
point.
hands up?
Would anyone online like to speak about 537 Warren Street, which is the Mexican radio building that the architects have just presented?
Hello, I'm sorry, this is Matt McGee. I'm having a problem getting to the hand raising icon, so I'm just speaking up now. Matt would like to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to say that I think this is an improvement over what's there now. And also I would like to, just as a matter of interest, point out the fact that the city has seen fit to have an open space where there had been density. The other thing I would like to say is, as far as the bricks go, the main concern you should have is that the mortar is softer than the bricks. And also the color is generally affected by the sand. So if you match the sand color so that it matches what would appear to be more original mortar on the building, that will be a good guide. And also, these bricks are not as hard as modern bricks. So really hard cement will cause spalling. So in freezing and wet weather, some of the bricks will spald and start to decay. But in general, I think this will be an improvement for Warren Street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other hands up, Jan?
No. Would anyone else like to speak to the folks gathered here regarding 537 Warren Street?
If there are no more hands up, may I have a motion to close the public hearing? That would be you and Miranda, all in favor? Aye. Public hearing is now closed. We can then go on into our regular meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You're good. We'll be back to you in a bit. We just got to do our ritual processing.
Okay, let's see. I have, I'm sorry, let me just stop sharing here.
So we need to review minutes.
Do you just want to announce that a public hearing and scheduled?
Yeah,
Yes, that's the
there was a public, another.
Walter project.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a public hearing scheduled for 123 Union Street, which has been delayed. The applicant asked for a 2-week delay. And so we we are granting that. So that will not happen today. The public hearing will happen in 2 weeks for 123 Union Street. And that is the addition, it's a new build for a garage carriage house apartment on facing Partition Street that adjoins the 123 Union Street property. So that will happen in 2 weeks.
Good.
First up for C of A is 212 Union Street.
I was saying, Jen, don't we have to
Oh,
review
I'm
the
sorry.
minutes?
Yes, we do. We have to approve the 3/14, March 14 minutes.
I make a motion.
Thanks, Paul. And you all in favor? Aye. Approve. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Good minutes.
Next up is C of A approval for 212 Union Street. This was for relocating and replacing the glider window, is that clerestory window, and adding French doors, replacing the back door, it's all to the rear of the house. Repair the novelty wood siding and the change of location for the fence. They were replacing the fence and they were bringing it in 9 feet from the alley.
Okay. It's clear. Motion to approve.
Yes.
Hugh and Paul, all in favor? Aye. Steve is approved.
Thank you. And then next up is 237 Allen Street. And this was for the decision on the kinds of windows. This is an open. The owner applicant was meant to provide us specs for the windows.
I haven't received nothing.
Okay.
So I think we should choose
Somebody
one.
might- Yeah, or somebody follow up with her.
Well, the chairman did.
I didn't get to her, so, let's give it another go. We haven't heard back. I'm totally happy to pursue it further.
Next up, we have continuation, and that would be for 538 Union Street. So let me bring that up. Second.
If them two things we want to off, because it's work, we'll also take pictures.
Hey, Jan, why did 538 go into continuation?
Because they were coming back as they are right now, coming here to present specifics.
We have a lack of information.
Oh, okay, there's more detail. coming
Yes,
in.
yes.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, so again, Kevin Thompson, Thompson Architecture. This is 538 Union Street. This building actually is across the alley from 537 one, so they're sort of back to back in the alley. Our proposal is to, this is existing single-family residence. We are keeping it as that. We are looking to, this house needs a lot of help. The proposal is to paint the outside of this building, replace the windows throughout. This rendering on the left from Union Street shows, the existing details that are here right now with the front door, the stoop that's there right now. I think at our last meeting, we discussed whether we were going to do anything to that stoop, and upon further review and investigation, that stoop's in really good shape for what it is. So I think we're proposing to leave the actual concrete stoop, but the railings need to be replaced because one of them has rusted off and it's not there. It's actually right back. So that's happening in the front of the building. We're proposing new 2/2 double hung windows. We are proposing, there's shutters on the building right now. I don't know, we're proposing to keep those shutters, I'll put it at that. And then obviously all the existing detail, the cornice details across the top of the building, all that stays the way it is. The big change really happens in this building on the rear yard side of the building. All of this sort of exists with new paint, new windows, new door. We're proposing to add this detail, which we stole off the front elevation in Union Street. So we're taking this detail, proposing to put it over the back. Currently, there's a covered porch that stays up the back of the building right now. We're gonna get rid of that for a few reasons. The big change happens up here though, on the 3rd floor. We're proposing to add a dormer up there to allow us to create a more usable or legalized third floor to this house for additional floor space. Next slide. These are some photos. The only photo we have of this building is really, this is actually, we found this in our 537 investigation. So this is back through the park, across the backyard. So this is just the back of the building right now. This is from the 50s, I believe. So obviously there's no dormer up there, but you know, the shutters on the building, it was white or very light at very least back then. And there was some sort of trade between us and them. But these photos I thought were important to share with the committee, as these photos are from what's today is the third floor of the building. I'm gonna make some forensic assumptions here that this front of this building at some point in its original life did not have that third floor with the cornice. You know, we've got some elements here that would lead us to believe that there were roof rafters. This probably had a more of a conventional gable roof on at one point in its early life. Someone came in and added this dormer at the front of it to make more room upstairs. We're not looking to change any of that, but I just wanted to sort of point that out to the board that, you know, this building has seen different lives, I think, as much of the buildings in Hudson have. Existing front, existing Union Street, it's sort of a very, very light gray or light blue. You know, the shutters, the windows, all of these windows have been replaced in this building at some point already. I think we added a photo later in the slide, but basically, you know, there's no weights on these windows. These have some sort of metal banding for a weight, which would have been a much newer thing than the old ropes or chains even. These are actually aluminum storm windows up top at this point in this building. So everything, all these windows have come and gone at least once in this building. But our goal is to replace them. I mean, even these existing windows here, they're storm windows in front of like 2/2. So we're trying to keep the 2/2. But the modern day 2/2 window. This is the sort of roof structure on the back of the building. So there's a little covered porch. This little roof will come off and have that, you know, a detail similar to this over the front door added over the door to the kitchen. And obviously we're going to add this dormer. There was discussion at the last meeting about the front door to this house and is it original and what shape is it in? So right here, this area A, this is the existing front door. The photos are hard to show. It's wood on the outside, it's been painted on the inside. The bottom rail of this door is not in the best of shape. That's really the failing part of this door right now, is the weather over the years are causing things to delaminate and sort of come undone. I think we would be open to exploring the idea with a, you know, appropriate mill worker to see if we can repair this front door. It's got all the original details on this door, the brass, you know, nameplates on it. There's the old doorbell in the center, the crank doorbell still in this door. You know, I think we're open to trying to salvage the door, but I think this is gonna, if you ask me, this would turn into a, you know, what's the financial investment in saving this door versus, and I don't know how that works with the committee, you know, I would like to say, if we can fix this in a reasonable financial investment, great, we would love to save this door because it's been there forever, and let's do that. If we start getting into crazy numbers to rebuild the entire door, then I don't think the clients would be wanting to do that. So that to me is a conversation with you. How do we handle that? You know, is it either you do it or you don't do it, or full commit,
You
or
have to propose something now. So it sounds like you're proposing to restore it.
let's propose to restore.
And if it turns out that that's, for whatever reason, you want to change that, you can come back to the board once you have more
And
information.
say this is getting out of hand, or it's.
Yeah, I mean, just basically just state the conditions.
Okay.
Which would make it, inappropriate, difficult, whatever. We can't just do it by the numbers. You gotta lay out what's wrong with the existing structure, whatever that may be.
Okay, fair enough. This is the existing sort of wrought iron railing. That's gonna go, you know, the stoop is in good shape. I believe we need to propose something to you. I don't think we're gonna have that in this going down further, but I could be wrong. This is, we're just going to repair, repaint this detail over the door. Corbels, painting. And these are these sort of aluminum windows that are currently up on the third floor of the building right now, which are going to come out and be replaced with new, I believe they're going to be casement windows. So next slide, please.
Could you pause there? Some casement windows that fold out?
Casement windows are going to go out.
And
The double hung windows,
that doesn't sound, Paul or someone else, casement windows on the third floor that crank out. Is that really something that we have approved much of?
Well, it's for fire egress.
it's for
You
light
can't- a
ventilation.
double hung window can't be opened enough.
If you need all three of them,
Oh, but that is,
We have a for that.
but usually in the back, I recall. That's not the typical third floor window, for even understanding that this has been modified. I think if you look at the smaller windows around Hudson, that isn't generally what we see. Now, the visual impact may not matter, I don't know what, unless they're being proposed. Oh, yeah, when they're kind of open, it will, but.
Moving in air conditioning or anything? Yes, there's going to be that area be, the entire building will be. But I'm just relying on the user to, you know.
No, I'm just thinking more to your point, Mr. Foreman.
Would you be open to looking for something more traditional for that third floor?
A double hung is what you're saying without saying it. The challenge with the double hung window on the third floor, can you go, actually, right here. So these are those windows upstairs right now, is that we've got a matter of inches from the floor to the sill of that window, and as a double hung window, which these aluminum windows are, it's just they're very low and maybe cumbersome to operate in terms of lifting up that lower sash. I suppose that argument can be made for any window that's there. Crank is.
Right, you can reach down to crank that. I mean,
It's
it
gonna
would
make a
take
good
long.
argument. It's gonna make a good argument.
Yeah.
Just that's what the point is. I think it's a conversation. We can certainly explore more traditional windows as long as we're able to meet any building code requirements that may be before us for light ventilation. It's really the ventilation requirement, you know, the awning windows, the awning, would the safety go for you, is an awning window where it's gonna crank out at the bottom is less than ideal also, or is that more appropriate than a casement that's opening like a door?
I don't
I
know.
prefer to say we've approved a lot of awning. This is,
You would rather be a double hung window?
I think that if you look at all the windows that have been approved on Union Warren, they generally fit this style.
Okay. So let us take a look at that and make sure, you know, unless there was an egress requirement for one of those.
That's a different question.
Yeah.
On any of the code stuff, you gotta touch base with code enforcement, with Craig.
Sure.
And, I don't know if he's on the.
He is.
call. So that's a real quick turnaround on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He can let you know right away.
This project is gonna have a public hearing as well, I assume, correct? With this or not? No.
It's up to my colleagues.
Okay.
but
I was saying,
if there was a need for an egress window, couldn't you put it on the side where it wouldn't be quite as visible? Or, I mean, just think through your options.
okay. We will take a look.
You have large new windows to read.
Yes, yes.
And so those might work better.
Cool.
Okay. Where were we? Is this new slide?
This is the rear.
Yes, so, this is existing conditions with the red being things that are being removed. The rear of the building, the roof's coming off, the windows are coming out, this porch is coming off, windows, doors, they all get replaced. This is the existing rear kitchen door. I might go as far as to say that's the same era as the front door. It's got a very similar, you know, details that the front door does. Again, I think we would propose to keep that door and use that door again, instead of replacing it with a new door. And if we get into this situation of, hey, there's problems, then we'll talk about that. We only have one side of the building that is really full exposure. And that would be the downside, the west side of the building, that would be a really narrow, alley or sidewalk that walks past the building to the rear yard. So taking out some windows, again, removing that, back porch. As a part of this renovation, we're actually going to take the entire roof off and put it back on. It's just one of these dollars and cents decisions that we're gonna put it back on in a light manner. But the existing structure, for structural reasons, the existing front portion of this roof is undersized and pretty not great shape. So as a part of fixing everything, we're gonna be insulating this building, so it's gonna stay on the roof longer, so we can still get stuff. And, that will be replaced with a new roof. The front will be replaced with a new roof in its exact location to not mess with the cornice on the front of the building. And then the doors will be added to the back of the building.
What's the roofing material?
I believe we had asphalt shingles on the front, and I believe the dormer. Let's keep going. Next slide. Okay, so this is blown up pictures of the existing doors, exterior in front, exterior of back, inside. But this is just trying to highlight the fact that this is where it's failing. This existing doors, had some snow and weather beating on it for the last lot of years. The front stoop, the railing, that's a wrought iron railing. We will propose something as an improvement to that.
So that's something that you will,
We will get back to you. I think in my mind, I expected that there was going to be another trip back here for you for this building, but maybe I shouldn't have made assumptions, but we will have to be back to give you that information and look at the windows for the third floor and that sort of stuff. So, back deck, cover porch coming off, it's all coming off. We're putting back a new deck in its place, but the roof structure will be gone forever. Forever.
Really doesn't love that.
I like that.
So there's currently an area where you can see right here, there's a spot where there's a basement door, so you can kind of see down underneath the back deck to get to a door. This is kind of the retaining wall, the doors over here. So this is a shot of the underside of the deck, but will be removed and replaced with something more appropriate. Again, demolition is red. I think we sort of went through this already on the other slides. Proposed, let's see here, we have, I believe the proposal is to, this upper roof, because of the pitch, I believe, is gonna have to be a rubber roof, it's almost flat. The lower part where it comes around, the warmer will be asphalt shingles. And the front of the roof that's currently there is asphalt shingles, and that would go back as asphalt shingles, facing Union Street. Next. Before and after, it looks a lot like it does right now, just with some repairs. There's some siding there's pieces of siding that are broken and damaged and falling off. And, we've got to replace what needs to be replaced, maintain as much of the existing as we can. All of the upper cornice will stay. All of the details around the front door will stay. So yes, that's that. In the rear of the building, similar story. It's in pretty sad shape back there. We are going to clean it up, add the dormer, paint it, replace the windows, upgrade the deck, and Windows. Union Street side. Union Street, we were proposing those upper windows were D, so they were proposed to be casing windows. We will evaluate that to see if we can find a better solution that's more in like with what we need to be doing in terms of double hungs.
And did you include the spec sheets for these windows? I see the dimensions, but we need to know what they are.
Okay, yeah, so we can give
Same for the underbuilding. So we need the spec sheets for Warren Street.
Okay.
So our understanding right now, y'all are coming back
Okay.
You'll take our whatever, input with and give it consideration. But the intention is you're gonna complete your pack and come back for another meeting, go through it again. In terms of a public hearing, the board needs to consider that. My feeling is that you're not changing any of the mass. You're not significantly reconstructing or deconstructing or changing the shapes of any aspect of the building. You're not, God willing, removing critical historic materials. You're not changing any of the open, so I'm not sure it necessarily requires a public hearing. I think what you are doing is bringing the building back to life, which is pretty cool.
So that's really the goal of all of these projects. So and shingles, colors, exterior colors, shingles, light fixtures, any light fixtures, obviously, we're gonna do the dark sky compliant LED lights. This is, maybe I'm wrong, maybe we did give you window information. Okay. So these are, so what do you need for the specs? So these are Marvin elevated windows.
Yeah, do the call outs so that your taxonomy is right and we can follow it and Greg follow it. And then from those call outs, we want spec sheets. For the window, if it's Marvin, Ultimate, blah, 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 we want the spec sheet for that.
So in terms of this slide right here, so this is, we have identified the exterior fiberglass color of this Marvin elevated window. Do you need more information on the Marvin windows than what we're showing you right here in terms of colors and stuff, or?
I think if you can just grab the manufacturer's spec sheet for that specific window and attach those as part of your pack, it's very helpful for code to have that in file.
Okay, yeah, okay. I mean, I think we would be doing that for the code anyhow as part of our building submission. I just wasn't sure how much of that specifics the historic commission needed or wanted.
We in code are part of the same process in other ways, with different lead responsibilities, but it's the same materials.
Okay. Is this it? Or is
That's it.
Okay, well, there you have it. So that was Union Street.
Terrific. So, you can call, write, or query any of us anytime. Certainly get in touch with Craig on the egress or any issues around that. And if you don't mind, I'd like to go back now and see if we can finish up on the Mexican radio.
Yes.
So we've heard from the public. Commissioners, thoughts and feelings on that proposal?
I think it's a great project, done with a lot of thought and sensitivity, bringing an old building back. I think it's quite good to town.
I agree as well. I like the bring.
Other folks, John?
I think this is excellent. I'm enthusiastic support.
Oh, God bless everybody. The motion to find the application complete. Paul and Miranda, all in favor, aye. We've done the public hearing. I motion to request the city attorney prepare a CFA.
Concession on the spec sheet, right?
Contingent on spec sheets and then
And
Paul.
including the removal of the siding language that we discussed, and including we include the mortar language.
We'll get, if somebody would remind somebody else to get in touch with Kim on mortar.
Yeah.
We have a commission architect, she just came here today.
Did we just join two projects together? We're talking strictly.
No, we're talking Mexican.
Okay, okay.
Only Mexican.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I was.
No, I'm glad you made sure because I could have lost the track.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah,
Ladies and
it's
gents?
good. It's good. Great project.
Can we, given the contingencies and specificities, can we request the city attorney to prepare a CVIC for the next meeting? And that would be Paul and Miranda, all in favor. You done did it. It's better work, but it's gonna be such a contribution to Warren Street.
I think it will be a great contribution to Warren Street. So
I'm asked about that building more. Remember this commission, I'm asked about that building more than any other building. So it's going to generate enormous enthusiasm.
it's sort of a nice one, whereas right now.
It's kind of it's right in the middle and it's a beloved space, the park next to it, everyone wants to know what's going to happen there. And you guys have a great story.
I hope that as a part of this improvement to Warren Street, that, I mean, the park is so empty and, you know, and I hope that with our building going into this, you know, our use going into this building, I hope that we can generate some new life into that park too.
Yeah. That you love.
Allow people to use it more, want to feel comfortable hanging out, sitting and reading or whatever people do in parks today. So, yeah, so thank you for your.
All wonderful.
Thank you, and we'll see,
And
we'll
we
see
should
on
make
this.
sure that the public is aware that you're willing to preserve the mural and give it to anybody who wants it.
Maybe sure Gossip can pick that up, because they also, the original owner of Mexican Radio may have more information, they're not terribly far off.
Okay. How would we, well, so I'm sorry, back to
I
the
think
mural.
we're gonna.
We'll help you with that.
We'll help you with that.
You don't have to carry that up, we can help with it.
I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
And
So what about
just for the
Okay,
record,
Street.
how would you like to resolve 538 Union Street?
He has to come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wonder if we could get feedback on the general project, though. I mean, we need the details on the windows and doors, but
With
for
the
me,
other,
at least, I think the dormer, which is the major addition, is just fine.
Yeah.
It'll give you much more usability on the roof line, and it's
Yeah,
very
it does.
beautifully done.
So I think that we're talking about the windows upstairs, we're talking about, like, oh, something for railing on the stoop. Those are the big ones that I've got.
the doors are stored, but it'll come back, you want to change that,
That's correct.
and you're just gonna make a decision about what you propose for the windows.
We're
And then we
gonna
need
back-
spec sheets on, we need spec sheets on all the things.
Spec sheet on all the windows, but also maybe an improved concept on the window type to satisfy.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thank
I would
you.
also say that project is great, and I would also say that the thoroughness and thoughtfulness of these presentations is extremely high. We see a lot of presentations, so I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good job. Great. day.
Can we go to, we got a sign app, which we might, I think should go, I hope, go quickly, and then we can go to 608 Plunkett.
Sure, just as a matter of continuation, just to, again, we agreed that we're continuing the 123 Union Street. And then I guess, is there anyone online it's a continuation 251 Allen Street? That was the B&B with the large sign.
Oh, okay, that's the Ben Renzo sign?
Yes.
Okay, I've gotten nothing from him.
Okay,
I did have an offline conversation with him and encouraged him to consider some options. But it's on him to respond.
okay.
I think we could take that off the agenda because the board
To do something for sign, can I?
denied it, so he needs to reapply.
Okay, I'll take it off.
Done.
And then we do have the sign at 722 Warren Street.
I don't see that, Jane, or
It's,
that was a latecomer?
yeah, the C of A. We have 608 Columbia Street and 722 Warren Street.
Okay, whichever one.
Is there anyone online to speak for 608 Warren, Columbia? 608 Columbia?
Maybe this is.
She muted?
Okay.
I see somebody on the screen.
Speaking, but-
Are they trying to speak?
No, I think she's talking to somebody.
608,
Oh, sorry. I'm 722 Warren. Sorry.
okay, great. You're up. Let me just open your application, please. Okay. And this is for a new sign for Flowercraft, I believe.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm terrific. That's exciting. It is.
And you have the floor.
Oh, hi. I am interested in having an illuminated sign that isn't on the sidewalk, that's mounted to the side of the building. And it would be done by Matthews Sign, so it'd be done professionally, not by myself. And it's just illuminated. It only has the name. It's very minimal, non-fussy. We do close at 6, so the light would not be on past 6, which is great because I don't want to upset any tenants, especially the older lady that lives above me. as you can see, I have an awning and the space it can fit on either side of that bar of the awning, and it's still capable of being rolled up and down. There's also like an old flag holder, and previously there was a sign that hung between the two windows on the second floor. I'd like to have those taken off so that it looks very clean and very nice, remove anything that's not needed and patch so that it's just very clean. I want to make sure that the brick is taken care of. And I'd like to be able to do this so that I don't have to have a sign in the sidewalk. I feel like I get worried about, you know, people being able to get by and also opening car doors and stuff like that. And I'm wondering if you have any questions for me that I can help answer.
Well, my question is about illuminated signs. It's going to be about illuminated signs on Warren Street. It's not really for you. I think it's more for us.
Okay.
Right?
Is it
I
interior?
yeah.
I'm not sure.
Exterior.
Oh, exterior, okay.
And what are the dimensions of the sign?
19 inch, 27.
Yeah.
Like this.
Mhm.
And it's not gonna be lettered.
It's 19 by 27?
Yes.
It won't be. Sorry,
Oh.
go ahead.
Okay, but
will-
it's not being illuminated after 6 by this owner in this place, right? We have to think.
Absolutely. It won't be on past that because we aren't even open past that. And again, like it's not it's more about getting visibility of people looking up, especially like walking in the park. And I know that there are other, I feel like Rivertown has a sign that I think is illuminated, and I think that Grace, or maybe they don't.
Finch does also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
so
Finch
it's not-
has.
Finch has letter back.
This is illuminated nonetheless.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of.
Well,
The Whaler has.
The Whalers as their sign is illuminated from behind.
Yeah. I'm assuming you've been through Craig in terms of, code.
Yes, I have. He was the first person I went to.
Understand, and that's the perfect way to start. I think the sign's great. I don't know.
Is it backlit or is it a lamp pointing at, how is it illuminated?
It's lit internally so you can see it from both sides. The sign itself, like the exterior's basically white, and then my writing is black. And it's by a sign company called George and Willie, who are really popular in town.
Okay.
Hold on, I do think it merits a tiny bit of discussion.
Yeah.
I love it, right? I like the scale, I like the idea of it. What I'm mostly concerned about is we have had other concerns about illumination and
Okay.
scale. And so this has nothing to do perhaps with you, other than the fact that what you're asking for isn't commonplace in our sign approval process.
So when I asked earlier, if it was interior illuminated exterior, I meant is the light
Yes.
in the sign or exterior?
The light is inside, yeah.
So I think that is something that we recently had an issue with.
Yes.
Well, that was also the design scale.
Okay, but I want to make sure
Yeah.
distinguish it.
This will be free.
I
I don't think it hangs, I think it just comes out. You're correct. It will be, it will not be flush with the building. It is perpendicular to the building, which would, it makes all the sense in the world. And it looks great. Remind us of the scale again, please.
Yeah, it's 19 by 27.
19
Like
wide,
it's quite small.
27
Yeah.
high.
Yeah, it's small. I think for this sign, that was being attached to the building, the scale of it, interior illumination is appropriate. We have to look at each sign as an entity. So for this particular one, I'm fine with it. It's a larger, huge 10-foot sign, and maybe not, but I think this was fine.
But then any sign we have up and down Lawrence Street right now on a bracket or whatever, they can come back and reply and ask that their signs will all be.
This is
Not
good.
all of them, but
Oh, but we don't have to approve
We
it.
have to.
We do one case at a time here.
We don't, but we rely on precedent when approving, right? So people will.
I don't, I do one case at a time.
Well, just to a certain extent we do. I mean,
I think this is totally appropriate for the building, the location, the application.
Are there any
I
other
mean, either is
internally
already,
illuminated signs?
huh?
Are there any other internally illuminated signs?
Sure, we'd have to walk up and down one list of.
there's
Perhaps the
the
actual.
Hudson
We should have
Island,
that.
but that was a pre-existing.
Which I just, because it came up with the Navigator, it was internally illuminated, and the board found that wasn't appropriate, and it came up with savory deli bites, and you also found that wasn't appropriate. So here, what we're saying is that there's a difference in internal illumination when it's flush against the wall versus when it's hanging.
And scale.
And scale, I think scale really is.
Yeah.
Scale would be the differentiator between this and those other signs.
Yeah, so,
They'd come to us with a 27-inch by 19-inch sign.
yeah, they came with a 10-foot sign.
But I think it is clear that
This far out from the building, and, you know, this is.
I think the precedent-setting nature of this shouldn't be ignored.
It's not.
I agree, and I think it's for
Does
design.
Commissioner Steins have an opinion on the phone?
I understand
Jeremy?
this said, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I agree that this does set some precedent that may be problematic in the future. I feel like it still could be achieved with a downward facing light on it, especially if it's only going to be between 9 and 6. So I think there are ways of still having it align with some of the other solutions that we provided and still meeting the goal.
I think because this is a double-facing sign, and it's, you know, two-sided sign coming off the building this way, and it's small, I think that the way it's designed is fine.
The internal lighting is a better way to illuminate this, you know, also being on, otherwise it'd be sort of bizarre to have it two-sided facing the street with external illumination. I don't see another way to do it. Nor I don't see why they should do it another way.
Yeah, I think
I have some concern about the precedent because I think it opens the door to a whole family of signs that we have in the past. But generally, we've asked for painted signs. And they can be illuminated by, you know, light shining down on them from above or below or whatever. But that's generally, we think if the run of Warren Street, that's what's there, and they do look old fashioned. You know, they
The
don't
mitigating
look
factor on
contemporary.
this-
This looks contemporary, and it's not that it's not attractive, it is, but it's a departure from what we've generally done.
I think it's mitigated by the scale. If this were a larger sign, I'm with you 100%. But it's not. It's relatively small unit even compared to other signs on one. And I think that's what makes it work. But let's see what we got to avoid. Motion to find the application complete. Anyone? Hugh and Paul, all in favor? Motion to, I guess we would, I don't know if we would, yeah, waive a public hearing and request the city attorney to prepare a CFA. Hugh, Matt a second?
Yeah.
Phil is second, all in favor? We'll do a roll call.
It's John Schobel, I vote no.
Seriously?
I'm afraid so.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too. Well, no.
Paul Barrett, no.
So,
I vote aye.
I vote yes, too.
Jeremy's let it vote.
Jeremy?
I'm a no.
I mean, the historic guidelines generally disfavor illuminated signs like this, and if they, and even if they are to be illuminated, there would be the type that we have at Finch and the Whalen. So I just think that this isn't compatible with the historic character of Hudson. But we also, hold on, so the default is to have a public hearing, or the applicant can resubmit.
Seriously. I'm not
And
gonna
there are
vote for
loads
it.
of signs that are illuminated by, as Jeremy suggested, lights from above that shine down on the sign. That's
So
common.
if we find that there are X number of illuminated signs in various forms on Warren Street, would that change anybody's perspective that we're not breaking some philosophical barrier?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
As a
understand.
light box hanging from a building in this fashion, sure, but I think we all have enough collective knowledge to know that there aren't.
The one is on Third Street.
I don't have
The
collective
one
knowledge.
tonight is that.
I don't understand the vote, but that's where we're
I
at.
mean, if there's one other one, then we can.
Anyway, we got to know on this.
There are a number of aluminum signs. The deli on Second Street has an aluminum sign, I believe.
So give it a think, if there's another way of illuminating this or.
And or check Warren Street and see if there's other
Or
illuminated
take a
signs.
look on the street. I think,
I mean, I'm also willing to go back and do some, I just did a very quick search on this, but I think what you're going to find is that in historic districts, this is not generally favored, right? So we can go back and look at all sorts of guidelines, and I understand those are not authoritative, right? We're the ones who determine what is appropriate, but they do give us some kind of guidance.
I think this is actually quite a nice sign and well.
I do too, I think it's lovely.
Yeah, but is it appropriate for Warren Street?
Yeah, because of the scale, it's a small sign, it's this big. So, it's not a 10-foot sign. So
It makes a huge difference.
It's like
in scale.
about the scale.
It defines the amount of light, it defines everything about it. I don't know how they would. Anyway, this is unfortunate.
I would recommend that we take this under further review, and then we offer the applicant the opportunity to get a public hearing or submit something that's not an internally illuminated sign.
Well, and also, if you can go on Warren Street and gather some information of other,
That's right.
if there's other signs that exist that would help your presentation.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I don't, we don't want to be overly dogmatic, but I think as you can hear from 4 out of the 6 commissioners, this is precedent setting and it's different than what we have done in the past and what exists
Yeah.
now.
I understand.
And we have turned down other
Yeah.
proposals for this reason. That's the,
Well, but those signs were 10 times the
they were
size.
much bigger.
So it's not a light comparison.
So we're doing a little research.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's not so much that it's mounted to the brick. It's more that it's illuminated internally.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
The sign
Yeah.
itself is very attractive.
It is.
Nobody has a problem. with
Absolutely.
It
that.
is, it's a cool sign.
Yeah,
All
Well,
right.
I'll just do more research, go up and down Warren and, see what I can do. And, it's one of those things that like during the day, you won't really see it illuminated that much if it's very bright outside. It's really mainly like a couple of hours before I close that it would help to have the illumination basically. And maybe
Yeah.
like in winter when it gets like darker earlier, that's basically when you'd notice it was illuminated, I think.
It's a fair point. And another point maybe of differentiation, that this is not going to be illuminated at night potentially versus other illuminated signs we may see
Oh,
in the
yeah.
street.
I definitely wouldn't have gone past 6.
There's a legit story on that. I agree.
I understand.
All right.
And
Thank you.
So-
Stay in touch. I mean, send,
Okay.
you know how to contact us, either directly to any of us or through Craig. Let's
Okay.
keep the conversation going. The folks you're working with, it's Matthews, right?
Yes,
They
they're
know-
very nice.
They know us very well, and we can help you collect information also on what's going on Warren.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Anything else, Jim?
Let's see, 608 Columbia.
We found nobody
No
to
one's
present.
here. Okay. And I believe that is it.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Yes,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And so we are.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Meeting At 11.
Cheers, all.